Hey, big boy. Wanted to call and wish you a happy birthday. I wish I could be there. I know it's the big 5-0, and we've had, I think, 35, 36 years of history together. And Tanya called and asked me to share maybe a little story and say happy birthday. The first thing I thought of when she called was the first time I ever went over to your house and you decided you were going to cook some hot dogs. And I said, yeah, I'll take a hot dog. And you cooked up the dogs and gave me the hot dog. And I said, well, you got any mustard? He said, yeah, we got mustard, but it's real spicy. It's real hot. I said, just put it on there. I'll take a little bit of spicy mustard. I didn't want to show any weakness. First time I'd met you. So he said, well, this stuff's really hot, man. You don't put too much of that on there. And I said, well, I'll just put it on there. And you put a little bit on, and I said, well, I'll put a little bit more on there. He said, I don't know, it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot mustard. I said, don't worry about it. I can handle it. So I took a bite of that hot dog, and that was the hottest mustard I've ever tasted in my life. I think it was imported from Austria. I took a bite and I couldn't eat anymore. I said, it's too hot. And that was the first time I saw the Brad face. That as the years went by, I saw many times after that. But the Brad face was, you're not going to eat that hot dog? I said, I can't eat it. It's too hot. I told you that hot dog that mustard was hot, and you're not gonna eat it. I can't eat that hot dog. So I had to throw that hot dog in the garbage. And for about 10 years, I had to hear about that hot dog. First time I've been to your house, I don't think we talked for about a week. And still, to this day, I remember that look. I can eat it. You can eat that hot dog. You can throw that hot dog away. I told you that mustard was hot. So that was the beginning of our history. And of course, there have been 10,000, maybe 100,000 memories that I remember. Some of them I could share and some of them I couldn't. But a couple of things I learned from you. One thing was, if you have little bump right here, it's called a chestnut. And then if you have that and it persists, you're called Mr. Chestnuts. Second thing I learned was that if you hang a 64-ounce plastic bottle out of a bus as you're going to a ski resort, you're probably going to get in trouble. Especially if your dad is a chaperone on that bus. So, most people would finish drinking a 64-ounce drink and think that was enough. But Brad had a little bit of backwash left. It was warm. Most people would just throw it away. But Brad said, no, I'm going to cool this off. I got to figure out a way to get this cooled off so I can drink this. So he sticks it out the side window of a tour bus. Thing he didn't know, there's another tour bus right behind. And that tour bus radios to our tour bus and says, hey, there's a 64-ouncer hanging out the window. So who is the chaperone? George Sophronis. That's right. The Grand Poobah. The Big Cheese. The guy that I'm petrified of anyway. And he has to get up from his front seat and walk all the way back. And he walks back, and I was like a rabbit in the weeds, trying to be so still that maybe he wouldn't notice that I was the one sitting next to Brad. He looks at Brad and says, "Bradford." That's what he called him when he was upset. "Bradford, use your head, son." And he looked at me with just disgust and just shook his head. And I know that at that moment he was very, very concerned for our future. But somehow we moved on. The other thing I learned from you is that there are some people that no matter how many squats they do, no matter how many leg extensions they do, their legs will always be sticks. And, you know, that's okay. Oh man, so many things. I learned that sometimes instead of saying a cuss word, you can just say devil dog. Who would ever thought that? I learned that some things are really, really good if they taste like cheddar cheese. And I had to hear that. For years I had to hear, tastes like cheddar cheese. I don't even know where it came from. Only Brad would know. But that's the thing, man. You look at things and see something different than what a lot of people see. And in the end, I learned what it's like to have a best friend. And you are and have been and always will be my best friend. And I want to wish you a happy 50th birthday. I really wish I could be there. But I know it's going to be a good one. And Tanya called me, asked me to do this video. I said, I don't know. I don't know if he's worth me embarrassing myself, but you were worth it. Just barely, but you were worth it. And I hope it's a great 50th for you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. I love you, man.